Alright, everybody. What we're going to do here is we're going to have a little bit of fun in Standard. I haven't done Standard in quite a long time, and was getting kind of sick of the toxic nature of Arena and what it's doing to me, because now, I'll even scoop when I shouldn't. Because I'll be pissed off at my deck, or rather the algorithm or whatever have you that's pissing you off at the moment. The fact that they're giving God hands to everybody else, and you're sitting here starting off with a 5-land hand, and all you want to draw is land. It's crazy. But that's beside the point. I hate it when you get things going, and it's going to be a good game, people scoop, because, if I'm not actively winning, I don't even want to play. So that mentality really kind of drives me nuts. So I wanted to do Standard ranked, because then at least if you're going to do that, there's a penalty for you for doing it. And I go up in the rank. Well, so I started off at Bronze, because I haven't done anything ranked for a couple of years now. And I've been doing a lot of Commander. So I'll get into this here. I love mono white, but it's not often a viable play style, I guess, in Standard in my experience. Don't get me to speaking as if I know how Magic the Gathering has always gone for the formats. I don't. Been in it for a long time, but So, but I do see a lot of power. And here in this deck, it's brought me from Bronze all the way up into Diamond. I'm in rank 3 of Diamond at the moment, and tier 3 of Diamond at the moment. And this deck, or rather the iterations of it leading up to this, have gotten me here. So it's definitely a control style. Like, absolutely. There's a lot of control-esque things going on here. Besides, your typical removal, there's even, in this mono white, amazing counterspell. I mean, it's not counter. Obviously, you see, it's going to exile the target spell. Okay? So that does get around, can't be countered. However, I've watched Arena mess up on some rules over time. For instance, before the One Ring life loss happens, I'm going to get a chance to respond. Now, I theoretically could be wrong about some things that I say in here, and if I end up being so, please let me know, because I do not intend to be. And the entire scope of how I'm trying to view things is going to inevitably lead to me missing things. I will get excited about something a little bit prematurely and such things as that. But, so Aven Interrupter is something really special for mono white. I mean, yeah, every once in a while they get something like Mana Tithe. Well, something like, sometimes they've had Mana Tithe. It's not like there's other things that are close to it. And that's a really limited counterspell. I mean, this is too, and it's not denying it from them. However, if used properly and in congruence with your soul partition, it can make things pretty much gone. Now, realize that Aven Interrupter, if it is spent on, I forget the name of the spell, but it's deal 3 damage to target attacking creature, and if it dies this turn, exile it. Well, if you Aven Interrupter that, it's a dead card, because a plotted card has to be cast as a sorcery, okay? So, with its spells your opponents cast from graveyards or from exile, costs 2 more to cast, is really, really amazing paired up with that soul partition. Plus, all of the adventures and things like that, because an adventure, something that's on an adventure will cost 2 more to cast. And even if it's only a 2/2 body, it's still really, really potent when we're dealing with 20 life that we're trying to deal. We don't need to actually physically deny you your resources. We just need to keep you from accessing them. I mean, I guess, potato, but you get what I'm trying to say. We don't need a hard counter to get the same effect. So, alright. This deck is ran by a fairly impressive draw engine. It's why it's 80 cards. That, and I have a hate for mill decks. So if I can ever justify going up to 80 cards in a 60-card format, I'm going to. But for this, because it can deck you out. So we've got Enduring Innocence, which is one of the new Duskmourn cards. It's really, really, really good. Now, don't get me wrong, with all of the exile in the format, you have to be a little bit careful. But because of there's mostly destroy, it's still a really solid play turn 3. Especially if you've got a Dust Animus plotted, but that's beside the point. We're not talking about that yet. And we've got Takacia's Welcome. Now, there's a couple of little differences between these two. Notice this one is a power 2 or less, and this is a converted mana cost. So these are actually triggered off by different things. Even if on the surface every single creature in this deck sets off both of these, they don't. Dust Animus is really the exception here. Because if you have 5 untapped lands when this comes out, you're not going to pop off Enduring Innocence. Because it is entering as a 5 or a 4/5. So it's definitely bigger than 2. But everything else is gonna pop this off, and an early turn Animus is still gonna pop this off. So we're also gonna stay on this. So that's the draw engine, and it's quite a few cards. 8 cards in 80, so that's a tenth of the deck is my draw engine. Don't get me wrong, removal, it happens, but not enough to keep this deck from performing. So we're gonna go into the Werefox Bodyguard. This sometimes is a 3 of, but it's at a 4 of because he is so amazing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about him a little bit later, because his sacrifice him to gain 2 life, it's like custom made for this. So we've got Loran of the Third Path. I mean, it's amazing when enchantments are such a thing, and it's a standalone when enchantments are such a thing. Being a proc for Enduring Innocence and Takacia's Welcome is good. And then I don't ever like giving you cards, but sometimes I just need the extra cards because all I need is 1 card to start popping off. And it's not like I'm looking even for a specific card. Really, a lot of times I'm just looking for a freaking creature. And I have 31 in this deck, so a large chunk of this deck is creatures. And Loran of the Third Path always has a place. And honestly, after she comes out, if you want to kill her, and a lot of people want to kill her, go ahead, because she's pretty much done her job. So, alright, so still on the creature things, we've got the Recruitment Officer and the Crawling Chorus. Now, obviously, these are in here really because of the 1 drop to proc off of Takacia's Welcome and Enduring Innocence easier. But this will go and get you stuff later, and it's a kill on sight card. I mean, I guess I wouldn't qualify it as a kill on sight, but it's definitely one of those things you can't let me keep doing because every single creature is viable to hit for that. And Crawling Chorus, it's another one of those, people will stop their turn 1 or their turn 2 play to kill this, even though it's going to come back as a toxic creature anyways. But besides the fact that it's 1 mana cost, the reason it's in here is because it's also a possibility for a Enduring Innocence and a Takacia's Welcome proc on my opponent's turn. Because if I block with it, I get to proc. Because these are both going to pop off for the token that comes out. Now, Fortune Seeker, I don't know why I was calling that to a friend the other night. Frontier Seeker is super good. I hate land problems, and having 3 of them really seems to fill that out pretty good. Plus, it's another proc in there for both of them. It's a 2/1 for 2 mana, so it's going to get both the Innocence and the Welcome. The Innocent Welcome. It's going to get the Innocent Welcome. That's what we're going to call this deck. This is now the Innocent Welcome. Alright, so we're talking about the Frontline Seeker. Now, I want to go to Dust Animus. Dust Animus is obviously pretty good, because for 2 mana for a 2/3 flyer on turn 2 in Standard is pretty solid. But its plot is really, really good. So let's just look at a scenario real quick, and you're going to see me do this because we're going to play some games. If I'm looking at being able to cast an Innocent Welcome on turn 3, and I have a Dust Animus, if there's no other reason that I'm worrying about having to hold up removal for your turn, because ever since they banned the ley line, I really don't worry about that kind of stuff anymore. And I would like to point out that that ban really meant nothing to this deck. This deck always kind of had what it needed to deal with that. I could always hold up what I needed, and I could always put it through. And with generalizations that I make, like always, take that with a grain of salt, because yeah, of course there's times I lost. But, so turn 2, you will plop this. And then turn 3, you play your Innocent Welcome. And then you play Dust Animus, and you're already proccing off of that. So that's, I really, really, really like that, because one of the biggest problems I have with those 3-cost enchantments where you get to like draw cards, like Takacia's Welcome for an absolute example. I don't want to just play it turn 3. I wanna proc. I always want to proc the turn something comes out. I always want to get something when the turn it comes out. So, all right, we got through those ones. Now we've got the Living Phone. This is one of my later additions because somehow I hadn't pulled one of these, and I hadn't noticed it when I was looking at the not collected cards. Don't know how. Sometimes I overlook things, but it's amazing. It's aggressively costed at 3, so it's gonna proc the Welcome, and it's a 2/1, so it's gonna get both. It's gonna get the Innocent Welcome, and when it dies, which I come on, kill it. Go ahead, because people have so many kill cards, destroy cards as their spot removal that this is gonna proc most of the time. And when it can grab literally any creature in my library, as long as it's in the top 5 cards, it's so amazingly good. But a 4 of, it's just, I don't like having a 4 of when I have to rely on you doing something to it. Don't get me wrong, there is an instance here coming up where we're going to talk about the intricacies of who kills that. But it's going to be in the same topic with the Werefox Bodyguard. So now, of course, you know, we've got the Mirex, because this isn't a toxic deck, but for 4 mana, if I don't have something else, if I didn't draw into a creature, I can still proc an Innocent Welcome for 4 mana, which I'm completely fine with. Now we've got this spot removal. Parting Gust is super good. I never like giving you anything, and mind you, if you Parting Gust and Enduring Innocence, they're going to get the fish token before it's exiled, so they're still going to get to draw a card, so remember that. But, don't forget, you don't have to gift a fish, and you can get one of your own creatures. Now, this isn't always the best solution, but there are a few times in this deck where it's been like that. For instance, you know, I've got a Werefox Bodyguard that I had used to exile a token, so there's nothing attached to it. I can just Parting Gust it, let your, you know, whatever creature you just had that I would like to get rid of, be gotten rid of at the end of the turn. That's fine. So, Parting Gust is really good. Get Lost, of course, its power can't be denied. And Soul Partition is a lot better than you might think. And honestly, because of things like Soul Partition and Aven Interrupter, I'm kind of afraid for the mirror match, and I really don't want people to figure this stuff out. But I do want to make videos, and I want to be creative, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of at a catch-22, and here we are. So now I want to segue into something before I get to my Werefox phone split. Ghost Vacuum. I'm sure you already have seen this card, but it is, at least in my opinion, the best targeted graveyard removal card in the game. Not just standard, in the game. I know I've been a little bit late on catching up with, you know, some of these things because I'm getting a little bit older, I can be a little bit more set in my ways. But I've been running Relic of Progenitus for a long time, and, you know, it's amazing. And, you know, yeah, you've got to keep up with their graveyard, but the versatility of it. So, I mean, this doesn't have that kind of versatility, because the one draw card off of it, sack it, of course, is early game at a pinch better than this. However, especially in this meta, when people keep trying to cheat out Yawgmoth, or whatever the hell his name is, it's super good, and I love cheating out their stuff, and I love the resiliency that it gives to mine, because I've got so many little creatures, you're gonna be having to get rid of my stuff, or you lose the game. So this is gonna have targets. It's gonna have viability against strategies, and it's gonna add resilience to mine. Now we're gonna talk about the Werefox phone split. So we've got split up here. Destroy all tapped creatures, destroy all untapped creatures. Obviously, pretty powerful, but obviously pretty big limitation. Now, I did run Agatha's Soul Cauldron in here, which did add a nice little level to this, but it's so niche that it didn't warrant keeping it in there. I'd rather just do a playset of Ghost Vacuums. So, Agatha Ghost Cauldron can exile a Loran of the third path, and I also had Siege Veterans, so I was having a lot of +1/+1 counters on things, and at one point, everybody had +1/+1 counters on them, and I had a Loran of the third path exiled to Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So I could just tap everybody, make both of us draw a bunch of cards, and then split up. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather not give you a bunch of cards, but whatever. But it wasn't, it was too niche to keep in for that reason. But obviously, Living Phone is something that it doesn't make, because when we untap, if we're at a standstill, which is a lot of times where this is really, really, really good. Obviously, if I don't have anything, it's really, really good. But, and then of course there's the times when only half of their stuff is tapped, which, you know, is really a liability for it. But a lot of times you're gonna find yourselves at that stalemate. And they're probably thinking about that split up. And they may not quite realize the things that you can do, because if you've got something fat exiled with Werefox Bodyguard, they're a lot less worried about destroy all, because they'll get this back. Well, that's where his ability comes into play. So at the end of your turn, or if I've got 5 mana during mine, I can sack him, gain 2 life, and give you an untapped version of it. I can also just enter combat, swing with him, see if you'll block him, and swing with everything else, see what dies, because my other option is just to let everything die because I destroy all untapped creatures. At least this way, I get to threaten, pump, and see what gets through, because everything that gets through gets to live. And if you block him, cool. I just let you get the untapped creature back. Obviously, if there's ETBs, that's a problem. But you deal with that by case-by-case basis. And then, after you don't block some of my stuff, I destroy everything that's still untapped. Which I will probably be leaving Living Phone, because you don't really want to block that, because obviously I get something for it. So I'll just leave it untapped. You might know something because I'm doing that. I know I'd look at it and be like, why are you leaving that untapped? What's going on? So, you know, then I get to, you know, refill my hand a little bit. So that's really the rundown of this deck. It's pretty consistent. I mean, nothing super flashy, but this is standard. So, you know, unless you're grave recursioning, there's not a lot of flashy, I guess. It does happen. But this is a little bit more consistent. So now, we're ready to go in and play some. I played against this guy actually fairly recently. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you don't forget that. I don't remember if he beat me or not. It does lose some. So, okay. I've got 3 land, which makes me feel comfortable. And I've got my 1-drop. Frontier Seeker isn't really the best right here. But whatever. Still gives me a 3rd land, so Mirix ends up getting live. We'll see what he's playing. Okay, green. We might see the one thing, which I should have attacked first. I'm trying to get into that habit. I do a lot of things properly, but there's some things that I still don't, and I'm working on it. So I got the Takasia's Welcome. I'll probably drop it next, because he's not threatening a hell of a lot at the moment. Still not. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going to be... Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm now decided that I drew the Dust Animus. I'm going to plot it. I'm going to drop another Crawling Chorus, because that's pretty awesome. And then I'm just going to pass turn. That way, because I would triple block to kill a Quarian Beastcaller. If he were to make it even a 4/4, I would absolutely triple block. Alright. That can get a little out of hand. At least it wasn't offspringed. And then there's that too. Okay, so we're going to play Takasia's Welcome. And we're going to seed ourselves a little bit. Right like that. Alright. Now that's looking pretty good. Now we're also going to pass turn. We got some spot removal and decent board presence. Plenty of blockers, and they're not doing a lot at the moment. So he's really starting off kind of slow. Now we got Mirix. So now if he doesn't give us the option... If he leaves us without giving us a reason to get lost, I'll be making a 1/1 Toxic token and drawing a card. That's where that card comes into play. Because see, I don't have any creatures. It's really, really important. Oh, okay, he's been missing land drops. That does suck. I hate when that happens to me. Like, I really do. Okay, so he's green-red. There we go. That card does some work in Standard right now, especially against me. But if they do that, I can just destroy the creature off from underneath it, which does help. Alright, that's a thing. And it does make me not want to use the Get Lost, because you're not going to swing. And I'm going to make a Might! And draw a card. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I feel safe. And I have 6 mana, which is really awesome. So I can play my Living Phone, draw a card, and I can pass turn with the ability to counterspell something. I would attack with a Crawling Chorus and a Might to see if he'd block both of them, so I can get that thing, or just get another poison counter on. But I'd rather have not procced Takasia's Welcome already. But Living Phone was absolutely coming out. And mind you, Aven Interrupter will not work on the discarded Trumpeting Carnosaur. And we're absolutely going to do this. Oh, shit. So it's not actually going to... Okay, so it sucks that Offspring you... Oh, when this creature enters. Okay, cool. So it is going to work out just fine. Proc Takasia's Welcome. Now that's plotted. Now, plotting an Offspring kind of sucks because they can still cast it for the Offspring. Now, swing the Aven, a Might, and a Chorus, and the Living Phone. And that's going to leave me the ability to make a Might. Okay, you are blocking that. Okay. Good. That makes me happy. I might get another Aven Interrupter. And I love it when they know that I've got it, too. It's great. Werefox Bodyguard works. That's completely fine. I mean, it's not quite as good. And then we'll play another Takasia's Welcome, so that when I Werefox Bodyguard, I can get 2 cards. This is going to get kind of crazy. Now, this is why I have 80 cards, because I'll end up drawing 2 cards during their turn at least, and 3 cards during mine. So, you'll end up going through stuff pretty quick. Okay, so he's going to be doing 2 damage to each creature. Okay. Do it! And then let Crawling Chorus proc twice. Probably, I don't know. He's gonna have to spend all of his mana to do that, and I can... Oh, yeah, I can get rid of a lot of stuff. Okay, this is actually okay. Because I got a bunch of removal. He's going to be probably playing the Offspring that's plotted. Or the thing that's plotted Offspring style. Yep, go ahead. Boom. Then what we're going to do is... I don't want to proc that. I'll give the tapped fish with that. Then that can come out. Then I'll soul partition the token, but I'll get lost that. Shouldn't have played the land beforehand. And then here's a recruitment officer is a kill on sight card, because I obviously have a lot of stuffs I can do. Obviously could proc him a few times. So I got the Werefox, and it's his spell or ability. Spell or ability, yeah. So the Werefox is gonna proc him out. One card. With it being a token, it's just gone. Scoop is incoming. Julio. Why would you pick that? And it's a win. This is a pretty decent hand. Instead of Loran, I'd like to see a Dust Animus, and then it'd be almost a perfect hand. And on the play, it's pretty good. So recruitment officer, that might make them take their turn 1 and get rid of it. I'm fine with. Yep, boom. Fine with. You can do it again. Now is it the bat? Nope. Alright. Oh, that's a really fucking good question there. Because I could get rid of it with that. Or I could... We're going to try and... This is a really bad... I'm going to throw this Akassi's Welcome. Because I'm going to leave myself with the ability to Aven Interrupter. If it gives me a reason, then I will Loran. There we go. Let's do that real quick. Yep. Okay, that thing's plotted, but it's still going to cost him 2 mana. And he's looking at a little bit of a board state, but I've got no hand. Because I ditched that Takasia's Welcome. But I think that might have been the right call. Exile that. Alright, another thing. Right, Avon. Okay. 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 That'll work. Okay, I can manage this. Because if you don't give me a reason, I can recruitment officer. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We're gonna both draw a card, and then I'm gonna Werefox Bodyguard. You let it through. This is what I'm talking about with the split up. So I'm going to see if that'll get through. And if it gets through, okay, it won't. Okay. And then they're going to come back with stun counters. Whoops, I should have... Damn it. I should have done that. I fucked up there. It's okay. Okay, that's fine. What am I going to do this time? Get rid of Loran. Loran's a better proc for the Ghost Vacuum anyways. Alright, you can make me discard another card. Or you can make me lose that. Oh yeah, you are. You're gonna kill the creature. You're gonna kill it. Nope. Okay. I even interrupt her. Because I need the Enduring Innocence. Alright, so they don't get to untap this turn. Cool. Next turn I can bring back 3 creatures with the Ghost Vacuum if needed. Ugh. And it's a little bit... I think I may have it now. But it was getting a little bit stressful there for a minute. Ugh. Oh my god, lands. It's coming down to the wire. Alright, yeah. I ain't got it yet, but I'm about to draw 4 cards. Damn. Alright, we'll play that. And then I've got counter spell. Oh, it was get lost. I thought that was another split up. Whoops. I had it. I had it. I didn't realize it. I thought it was a split up. Counter spell it. That's probably a good game. Yep. Enduring welcome. I like enduring welcome more. Okay, because of the frontline secret is okay. This is that Dust Animus and Takasia's Welcome I was talking about. Still need to draw land though on the play, so I mean I'm gonna need to be able to get something off the Frontier Seeker or draw into a land. Well, if I have to use the Frontier Seeker, I can't do the Dust Animus turn 2, Takasia's Welcome turn 3. Cool. Alright, it's a little bit of a problem. I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to be frustrated. I mean, I'm already frustrated because I didn't draw into a land. Bat. Well, yeah, I'm going to do Takasia's Welcome. They are threatening exile shit, but I don't need the creature yet. I'd rather, because black has a harder time dealing with enchantments. Do this, and then as long as they don't make me... As long as they don't make me discard 2 cards, I'll get a proc off of that next turn. Alright. God damn it, they got me to get rid of both. Okay. At least, I mean, it was better a land than another Takasi's Welcome or something. At least it's going to go get me something. Alright, let's see what we can do. He's going to try and dig that card out of my hand, and then I'm going to cast it on the talent. Alright. It ain't looking great. Yep. I'd swing, yeah. Because you really can't afford to let me... That'll work. Really need that to be life, though. So let's plot it. Because I need to have it as the 4/5 lifelink. So I'm gonna make me exile a card, but at least I get a creature out. Cool. And because it's not an Enduring Innocence, it will pop off the Takasi's Welcome. And now I've got the Mirex out, so I can proc on the end of his turn. It was a good call. But I'm going to have 2 cards in my hand. Yep, I think this is going to end up being a win, too. Even though he took me down to 0 cards in it and I had a bunch in his. And then that makes those now too expensive to cast this turn. Nice. Ghost Vacuum's a good pull right now because I lost all that shit. Yep. You gonna get the other card? No, you really can't because I can Loran. You gonna wipe the board? That's about all you can do. I'm sorry, you can do that. Let's even get one more and get up to tier 2. Back to backs. Alright, this is that. Alright. I have the lands for the Dust Animus. I don't have a turn 1 play. Crap. And then this is gonna be kind of bad. I don't really like this. Okay. Huh. It's a card I haven't rightly seen in here quite yet. Interesting. Which means if I can get my Ghost Vacuum, it's going to be really good. Ghost Vacuum's going to be an all-star if I can get it. Okay, but at least he still needs the mana value. Cool. So I get my Enduring Innocence unless you counterspell? Looking okay at the moment. Sorry. Yeah, whatevs. I would have... I don't know, yeah, because getting rid of the Enduring Innocence wouldn't have done it. Drawing into 2 removal spells was nice. Okay. So you can swing in the 1, or you get a tap, and it's okay. Now that'll be really good when it comes time for things like swinging him in and activate only... Okay, so it's a sorcery. I'd like to draw a card.
Move your body.
certainly on the defensive, and that's how this deck is usually going to be at the beginning. You know, you're looking for your opening to get a little bit of extra value in between their plays. So just braids. Okay, Hidetsugu. It's a good card. Okay. Gonna be trying to sack things. Okay, do you have a demon? No. It definitely leaves you in a place where you're not quite sure how the game is going to go. I mean, we've just watched 3 wins in a row, but you never know. And every one of them, if you look back, wasn't sure how it was going to go. Yep, make him spend the mana. You got a counterspell? Cool, that'll work too. That's 6. 6 mana is a good place for us. Let's go ahead and swing that 2. Fairly good. I think I can risk playing a Frontier Seeker. Now I'll save that for proc next turn and keep the Parting Gust, Soul Partition, and Get Lost. Yeah, we want a card. Really never do like giving my opponent cards, but sometimes you have to do it. 7, so that leaves 4. That means I can Werefox, and I can Mirex, or Recruitment Officer. Or I can do 2 proc, which I should have done this before playing the land, but Wasn't really sure what I was doing at that moment. Alright, so I don't have to get rid of anything. Let's go ahead and soul partition that. And then I can swing 4. I mean, Werefox is good. Ooh. Ooh. Alright. That's good. You got Hidetsugu. Still looking pretty good. So he's gonna get one of those. Some of my enduring welcome. I think that's a better word for it. Better name. And I'm going to Werefox mine, so that when I blow up untapped creatures, here's my Ghost Vacuum. Fantastic. Let's see. That's not good. Yeah, but at this rate, he's only got 16 cards left. And if he targets something other than Breach, opponent this way. I've actually been reading Soul Partition wrong for a long time. And what it does, it's the opponent part. Spellcast by an opponent this way costs 2 more to cast. I'd always been reading it as though it was going to do it to me too. He's got 15 cards left in his library. I've got 31. Like I said, you never know what the hell's going to happen in these ones. This deck's good enough overall to where it's having to work for every match. But it's pretty universally good. If I can make it through with some of my board state to next turn, I'll win the game. I'm going to put out Dust Animus with Lifelink, an Aven Interrupter, and a Loran waiting. Okay, it's actually not terrible. It's not actually terrible, especially since he had to draw cards. 13 now. Okay, that's a demon. Yep, means you're gonna draw cards. That's fine. That's the only thing I could have possibly needed right now, except for 2 more land open. 2 more land open will get better. Okay, it's fine. Because really I should have done the Aven Interrupter, because he can kill the Aven Interrupter and it would still plot the spell, whereas, I mean, if somebody knows and ends up watching this video, I mean, I'm going to end up finding out eventually anyways, but I did realize that I'm not quite sure if I target Werefox, or I target his thing with Werefox Bodyguard. If he kills Werefox Bodyguard before it resolves, pretty sure it gets exiled and then comes back. But correct me if I'm wrong, does it just fizzle out the spell? I'm using quite a pickle. I mean, I'm at 7 life, but... Alright, I will absolutely discard a card, no problem. Demon? Nope. Still no demon. Yep. There we go. Got up to tier 2. Alright, we're going to call that good. We're going to call that one good. Alright. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time.